learn from the masters and also learn from the young people because young people bring something new to the scene.
Hey there. To get started with this interview, start by introducing yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jackson Alves. I am a Brazilian designer, calligrapher, and letter artist. I have been working as a letter form expert for the last 12 years, and I already had the opportunity to work with big brands like Apple, Coca-Cola, Montblanc, Tiffany Co., and other nice clients. So nice to meet you.
Do you have any childhood memories? Something very strong about how you really got into playing with letters?
In fact, I only started to learn calligraphy after my 30 years old. But when I was a kid at school, that is before the computer era, right? I was the guy at the class that used to create the cover for the projects in the class. And also, I remember I used to emulate the letter, the handwriting of other people. So, in fact, I didn't have a specific handwriting because I all the time was changing my handwriting. So that's something I remember that time, and it's related to the letters nowadays.
And was there any aha moments in your professional career?
In fact, there was a situation where sparked my desire to learn, and this was a lettering workshop I took in 2010. And I didn't learn exactly how to design letter on this lettering workshop. I learned more about some special effects to create in Photoshop, but the guy who was teaching designed a cover for this workshop, and it's so awesome with a lot of flourishes and a lot of stuff. But I didn't learn how to design that because there's a lot of information to learn on just one workshop. So that situation sparked my desire to learn more. And after that workshop, I started to read a lot of typography books, a lot of calligraphy books, and I start to practice calligraphy to understand how can I create the right anatomy of the letters, like the right contrast and everything. So that was first calligraphy fire in my life after my designing era.
What about crafting their own alphabets, their own fonts?
That's a good question. Maybe you think like there are a lot of ready typeface, ready fonts that you can only use, right? Why create your own font? Why create your own alphabet? So I think the main reason is exclusivity and authenticity. You can create your own alphabet, and that's something unique. That's something that only you can have. That I think that's the main reason. Like, why do the same like other people if you can do something unique, right?
So, what's your experience with font creation software?
I started creating fonts in 2012 with Font Lab, and then I moved on to GlyphZap, and I use GlyphZap nowadays too, and I also start to use Fontself, and yeah, so I think the easier software to create font nowadays for someone who want to start to create fonts is Fontself. Fontself is very intuitive software. You can create your fonts really easy, very fast. But you also can learn how to use GlyphZap, but that is more complicated software, so you need more time to learn. I recommend that if you wanna create like a font family, so it's more for that. But for a single family made font self is already enough.
Did you have any surprise when you started using Fontself on iPad?
I already had some experience with the desktop version of the font self, like when you use font self on Illustrator or Photoshop. And then when I use the font self on iPad, I was really, really surprised because Fontself made something unique because I never had think about that like that. So I always create fonts with the regular process. We need to design each letter stroke by stroke, enter by enter, like a start point here, another point here, and then change the curve and fix everything. for each letter. So I was never thinking the possibility of design a font so intuitive, so easy, doing calligraphy. Like so, the best part of that. This is something huge. This is something really new. So we can just do the calligraphy with the calligraphy tools, with the best features of iPad and Apple Pencil, and then something magical happened, and then they convert this to a font. So that's something Fontself has. Is very unique, very special, and very powerful.
Do you have any rituals or a routine to get started when you need to go into the creative flow?
I don't know. I think I kind of procrastinated a little bit before I start a new project because I need to warm it up. So I see the brief. I try to find some visual reference on internet. I turn on my iPad, do something, and do another thing. It's kind of my process to warm it up, you know. Then I start create the first sketch, for example, and after that point, I get very focused. After that point, I enter on this my own universe, and I don't want to stop until I have all the project finished. Yeah, so I don't have a specific step by step, you know. So until I have the first sketch finished, and then after that point, I just do this project for I don't know 1 day, 2 or 3 days, depends on how big is the project, but I think it's like that.
Many people actually get into a creative block, and I was wondering whether you had some tricks about how you can overcome these creative blocks.
I believe that's very normal. You know, everybody faces that now and then. And for me, what helped, I put my hands on work, like start create something. Even I don't like that, but after 1 or 2 sketches, usually take a break, take some breath, and see some reference. And then when I come back to the work and I see that first sketch I produced, I already created, usually I have another idea and something new start working well. So yeah, I think the work process is something to help. Like believe in the process, you know, believe in the process.
Where you see the whole type and lettering industries go over the next 5, 10 years?
That's a tough question because it's so hard to think what will help with the field for the next years, especially now with the AI, right? But thinking about AI and how the possibilities, I believe now more than ever, the handmade process is something very important. It's something that will make us special. Like it's not about how perfect the letters can be because the machines can do that, but it's about it's a person behind a project, you know. So show the making of process, I think, is something very important because it was something I try to show making of process to demonstrate for people that the reason why I created by hand and not use a typeface. And now with the AI is not different. So show it's a person, it's a human behind of this project.
Are there any creatives out there from whom you would like to learn more about?
It's so hard to mention people because there is a lot of talent people creating awesome works. But I could repeat every workshop I already taken with the great masters, John Stevens, Julian Waters, my big friend Claudio Gil. I certainly will forget a lot of names, but learn from the masters, from the great master is great, and also learn from the young people is great because young people bring something new to the scene. You know, for example, that guy is Newsy One. Man, I'd like to learn with him how can he create so much videos, so much different stuff. And so I think the mix of the great master with the young people is something great to learn because from that part you can create something new and improve your work, you know. So yeah. There's a lot of people there. You can learn something with each person.
And the last one, just to give us some fresh air, is to know whether there are like 3 songs that you really enjoy in these moments.
Yeah, talking about music, I'm the kind of person that loves to hear movie soundtracks. When I was watching a movie, I used to use Shazam to, oh, that song is good. So I keep in listen that kind of atmosphere. So yeah, but if you see my top musics of my Spotify this year, you can certainly can find Hans Zimmer because the movie soundtracks, but you also can find Canons. I love Canons, and also can find The Weeknd, and also can find and a lot of other artists. I think the most important thing is put a song you love that inspires you some way and keep playing.